right, everybody. I'm going to be making some loaded potato soup here. So got some potatoes here. And it's almost 2 kilos worth. Gotta get the bag open. They're frozen, but I'm going to be heating up some bone broth here that I made. I put 5 liters of chicken bone broth in there already. I'm going to be adding, like I said, everything I need to first. Add a little more. Of bone broth here. Of potatoes. So and so you guys can see my pot there. I've got another pot there, and I'm going to be putting my lids here with rubber in there when I need to. I've also got 2 packages of bacon. Should probably get this up on high. There we go. Now I got some green onions here. They're dehydrated, but I'm not going to put them in just yet. So that bacon is raw and the potatoes are frozen, so I want that to get all ready there. It takes a minute for these to get heated up. So, yeah, got my spoon here with the holes in it. I got everything I need for pressure canning. So I'm going to need a little more water in there. I would say that's good enough for now. The pots, that, that full, just a little over halfway. Yeah, that's good. We're gonna let that heat up there. Gonna make a coffee. Uh, One of the best things to make, especially canning your own soup is you can make it the size that you want. Everything in there. You can add as much as you want. And just in the back counter. Got my mason jars sitting in the oven here. It's not on yet because I don't need to turn it on. I will put all the lids with the rubber on in the pot. I use vinegar in the pot with the lids, and I always use vinegar in my pressure canner. It's one of the things that I've been taught to do, I guess. And a little bit of salt, not much. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the oven now, with the mason jars in it. I do it at 275. No, I gotta start that over again. 275. And I leave them in there while I'm doing this stuff here. Uh, so yeah, this is how I the majority of my soups. It's because only because I'm using the bacon. Uh, it'll cook in the mason jars when I put them in the pressure canner. So I'm gonna bring it up to a boil and then turn it down for a little bit, and then and let it be in there for a little bit, and put my chives and my green onions in there. So hey, Green Thumb Prepper, I'm making some loaded potato soup. I got about 2 kilos almost of diced up to potatoes. I got 2 packages of bacon in there so far. I'm bringing the water up to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And I'm going to be adding some dehydrated no, I got chicken bone broth in there. Anything I do, it's just a liquid. Not doing the cream stuff. But when I do it later, go to pressure canning that. Um, I will add maybe a little bit of cornstarch to it and whatever spices I want. But I will be adding some chives into there, and some store-bought stuff and some green onions that I dehydrated in there. And I gotta let them sit in there for about 5 minutes at least in the water before I go ahead and put them in the mason jars and seal them up into the pressure canner. I also got my mason jars in the oven there at 275. It's preheating. Once it gets to 275, they got to be in there for 20 minutes minimum. So, and then I got my lids back here. I haven't turned that on yet. I bring that up to almost a boil, not boiling yet, full boil, because I don't want to wreck the rubber gaskets, because I've used them a couple of times at least. But what I do with those lids is when I go to open up and wash everything, I'll put a little bit of regular oil in there, and then on the rubber there, and then when I go to put them in there, I put a little vinegar in there as well too in that pot, just to get some of that oil off of it. So then, but you got to really watch out when you use it multiple times. Is the rust at the edges, and check the rubber at the edges to see if it's starting to dry rot, or if it's starting to peel off the metal, because that's when you start losing seals. So every time I go to put it into the pot, I've checked them already, and they're pretty good condition. So that's that there, I guess. I'm just trying to save a little money with reusing the lids. So, yeah, get a smoke going here. We'll coming up with a boil. No, I didn't. The potatoes were frozen. And I'm just trying to make a little extra space in the freezer there. So, they were raw when I froze them. I got chicken bone broth in there and some water. I think I added a few liters, 2 or 3 liters of water in there. Just straight up water. Yeah, I went to that farm the other week, Green Thumb Prepper. It was on a Saturday. Their prices are I don't want to say expensive, but you vacuum seal it and it's frozen, and 2 pork chops, and they're a decent size. They're about 3/4 of an inch, roughly speaking, to a package, and they're vacuum sealed and already frozen. When you go pick them up, and they're $10, but for what it's worth, it's already packaged, vacuum sealed, like as if we do as preppers and stuff like that. So it's not bad, and the plastic that they vacuum seal it in, it's pretty decent plastic. It's pretty good prices for it, because they are using a 6 mil bag, which is like the thickest bag you would normally see. It's a little thicker. It's probably a little thicker than your bacon packages at the grocery mall. So yeah, you get about a pound of wings for like $7.50. Um, some bacon there, and the bacon strips are a little bit thicker. So yeah, I'm gonna start going there a little more often. And they're only like 10 minutes walking distance from where I live, which is pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Monty, it's good to see you too. Yeah, Green Thumb Pepper. Yeah, that's why it's worth its money, because that 6 mil plastic stuff and vacuum sealed, it lasts up to a year, at minimum. With so you can push it longer than that, because it is a 6 mil bag, like the plastic there. If it was like a 3 mil bag, um, it'd be maybe a little different story. But usually, the thicker the bag, the better. Yeah, the water is starting to do its thing here. Okay, okay, there, GTP. Yeah, yeah, I like making my soups from scratch. Not a big cooker, but I like having my soups like uh, that's a piece of bacon right there. Um, so I like having it. You know, it's not like your Campbell soup or some of those soups, right? I like doing it from scratch. It's a little bit healthier. It doesn't have all the preservatives in there, and it doesn't have uh, yeah, yeah. Uh, the only thing, it doesn't even have um, all the salt that it's got in there too. Because I use for the 1 liters, I use 2/4 teaspoons worth of salt, and then yeah, that too. And then for the 500 milliliters, I only use 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So when you read stuff, you don't even know what it is. It's my dog's being in the background. Yeah. Yeah, but it's the bone broth or the broth stuff. I can only speak for the broth stuff. It's really healthy for you. It's good for your diabetes or yeah, because I do eat a lot of chicken. I don't get too much pork bones because I give that to the dog and give the beef bones to the dog. He loves them. So I'm stuck with the chicken bones for chicken broth. Um, but I don't put that the bones away. I make my own broth with them. And then what I do is I take my bones at 280 degrees for about 2 or 3 hours until you can break the bones with your hands. And then I stick them in a blender thing like this, and I blend them till it becomes as much of a powder as possible. Um, and then put it in the garden, and that's your bone meal. And the chicken bones, they're easy. They're very thin and easy to use in the blender. Make your bone meal that way. For your bone meal. Yeah, same here. I usually get my beans in a can at the grocery store when they're cheap. Yeah. Did you get a lot of snow there, DTP? We got about a half a foot. I was out throwing the snow today, and we got about a half a foot of snow up here. Yeah, that bone meal, it goes good with a lot of stuff that we grow, like the tomato plants and other plants that you and I grow there, GTP. Yeah, last year I had a couple that were over 6, just over 6. I stand about 5'9", and these things might have been about 6 foot. Oh, okay. Where'd you move to? You still in Canada at least? You can hear the water starting to boil. Gonna try to keep Trudeau under control. There's my oven. It just let me know that it was at 275. So it's going to take about 20 minutes for the mason jars there to get disinfected. Stop chewing on my boots. Yeah, they're not for you. The dog's teething. Still, just over 5 months old. He's a Great Pyrenees Miramar mix. He's like 60 pounds when he got his third set of shots, his boosters. And you can start seeing that water coming up there. There he goes, grabbing the boot. Yeah, 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 for sure. That's for sure, big time. Yeah, that's for sure too. Get one of your toys. Yeah, that's good to know, Monty. That's really good to know. And the good thing about this pressure canning is all I gotta do is bring it up to a boil. Most of it's only bacon here. So all I really got to do is make sure the water's nice and hot and let these dehydrated stuff sit in there for at least about 5 minutes on medium or something like that, and then it should be good. Get in my other boot again. Stop playing with my boots. Yeah. You're on TV there, Zeus. Yeah. He's about a third of the size he's going to be. Yeah. Not sure what Rotel is. Yeah, me too. Me too. I love the big dogs. He's a Great Pyrenees Miramar. And the last dog I had, he was a full Great Pyrenees, and at about 3 years old, he was about 145 pounds. Um, so he was a big boy. His father was a farm dog, and he was about 175 pounds in the springtime, and then at the end of um, the summertime in the fall, he dropped down to like 150 pounds, only because he's out in the fields with the sheeps, right? So, I didn't know that, Monty. But this guy, he's probably going to be big. All right, that's what it is. Yeah, we're slowly getting there. Water takes forever to boil. And Rotella might be the female version of Rotel. Yeah, I usually have to at least travel 20 minutes to a grocery store. Uh, so usually out to Arthur. Uh, and or Grand Valley. Grand Valley's grocery store ain't the best, but I usually go out to Walmart, my groceries, and it's not that I like going to a big box store or anything like that, but at least when I go to Walmart, I can pick up sneakers or clothes, gardening stuff, a little bit of everything there. I don't know their GTP. Maybe. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. With what's been going on the last 2 years, that's why I started gardening and stuff like that. Uh, so that if I don't, if I can't make it to the grocery mall, say one day, especially this time of the year, um, I don't have to. Because yesterday we got like a half a foot, and it was pretty windy out. Um, a lot of blowing snow, and I'm on not a major highway, but a country highway, and there are side roads, but 89 and number 9, which is the other two highways that travel from Shelburne. 89 travels from Shelburne to Orangeville, and 9 goes from um, Arthur to Orangeville, and I'm on 25 that goes from 89 to number 9, and they usually shut down some of the spots on those three highways. Number 10 goes from Shelburne to Orangeville, all the way up to Mississauga and Brampton, and in spots they close that highway down. But that's usually mostly in the winter. And it's getting pretty close to me to turn it down to medium. Yeah, maybe that might help. that printer's got 3 different sizes for me to use. That might help. Maybe that's why. Turn it to the big size. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it can be pretty bad doing that kind of stuff there in GDP. That's why the OPPs out here shut down the highways because it's you know, like the farmers' fields. They can some of them don't put up snow fences and stuff like that, and it's and some of the fields don't have trees up, and it just blows right across the road with the wind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we wouldn't be Canadian if we didn't drive in this stuff. That's the one thing. Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Those snow trips. Yeah, before I moved here, I had myself a little four wheeler with a plow on it, and I had a helmet with a face mask. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so I would drive, and then there are a couple of roads with some snow drifts in there, and I'm glad that that little four wheeler was a four wheeler, like I had four drive. You know, uh, down there. Yeah, I just turned on the lids there to high. I try not to let them boil because it does tend to rip the rubber there. Um, got um, 750 milliliter jar of here, and it's got maybe a third of chives. I just dumped the whole thing in there. You know, and then So 1 liter. Oh, that's close to about just under half there. I have to get that vacuum sealed up later. Just mix all that in. Yeah, I know it. It's the weather right now. It's snowing a little bit. And really cloudy. Plus I live underneath a metal roof. Oh, that's good to hear, GTP. That might be a real nice truck. Just gotta let the chives and the green onions absorb that water so that they're not going in there into the mason jars dry. Yeah. Okay. Now, my pressure canner here is going to hide that pot a little bit because I'm almost ready to. It'll be a couple of minutes still before. Now, don't laugh at me. I really. Okay, that's good. That's good. There we go. Got this container top here for putting all this stuff in there. Sometimes I got to use this thing here that I use to debubble it. Yeah, I think so. I know I can get 7 1 liter cans in there. And then I got to check the card. I know 7 1 liter jars fit in there. And then, where is it here? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. No, it's chicken bone broth, the Daily Prepper. I make my own chicken bone broth because I do eat a fair bit of chicken. But whatever beef bones I get go to the dog, and whatever pork I get with bones, it goes to the dog. Okay, the lids are done. I'll just put that there for now. I need the magnet thing for that. Yeah, yeah, I've had this thing for close to 2 years now. Um, and it's pretty good. Uh, I learned that the rubber gasket on the lid here, um, the rubber gasket there, a friend of mine, another channel, um, when you go to put it down on there and the rubber, um, yeah, um, they said when you go to tighten it all down and then the steam still comes out from the lid, they said get a frying pan and put boiling water in there with some baking soda and put that rubber gasket in there. And I did, and it worked. Um, so that's pretty good to know when you got that rubber gasket in there. I think she said that it was just because I was using it so much, and it compressed. And I think with knowing that baking soda oxygenates stuff, um, it probably is what it did. Is just added some oxygen into the rubber and made it more expandable. So yeah, for anyone that is watching, I'm just under 1,500 feet from sea level. Yeah, that good. That's good to know. That's good to know too. Um, so I have to use all the weights on mine. Um, yeah, I do that, Monty, every time I go to use it. And then I wash it when I'm done. So it doesn't stick or anything like that from the heat. But check your elevation before you do it because the elevation will vary from place to place. So um, my elevation, I need all the weights. Where someone else watching, um, they only may need 5 or 10 pounds. So I need all of it, all the weights on there. Just about ready to start canning that up. Yeah, yeah, that's a real good price. That's a real good price. I like the rocker ones. I don't like using the electric ones or anything with the pressure gauges sticking on them. Um, because you got to have those pressure gauges checked at least once a year. I hate that. Um, got to take it up to a USDA approved or something like that place just to check it. No thanks. Um, you know, a couple hundred years ago or however long ago they were doing this whole method thing, with the pressure canning. They only had, when they first started it, they only had the rocker thing, um, like this, you know. So yeah, yeah. My mother doesn't like pressure canning. She thinks the thing will explode. But it's highly unlikely. The rocker thing will go. Yeah, if it's done right. Yeah. Um, I usually keep it at a medium heat. Um, at least with my stove top, so that I get that nice gentle rock. But usually, once it starts getting that gentle rock, um, I usually have it up on high until it gets that gentle rock starting to go, and I turn it down, and then I leave it at that, and I can walk away from it into the other room. No, but I could only imagine. Because I got the 15 pounds of pressure on mine, right? So I could only imagine. Because when I got the lid on, and I'll show you when everything gets going good here, I got it, my hands like high, like I got a microwave just about right here. You can see it, just the bottom of it. And it's a couple of inches, like you can just barely see my thumb there, right? Once I get it to there, you know, I could only imagine what the pressure in there would be like. Yeah, I don't know if mine's a glass stove or not, but I've never had a problem with it. Because you see that little lip on the bottom of my pressure canner? That's what you really want. Um, on your pressure canner there, because that part is sitting on the heater, opposed to the whole thing. It's when you got the big, like the water bather. I'm using my water bather there, and it doesn't have that that little lip thing where it brings the whole, like maybe just over maybe half the pot or whatever is sitting on the heater, and the rest of it sitting up maybe a 1/4 inch off of the stove, right? Is when you tend, at least what I've been told, when it comes to using the glass stoves. So when I use my water bather, because it's a little lower in the heat part, I let it sit. Like I got something on the side of my stove where my either side here, because my counters, they sit maybe about that much higher than the actual stove. And when I go to do water bathing, I'll have it resting up on one of those just a little bit, so everything can breathe a little bit underneath there, so that the heat isn't, and so that the glass can breathe and stuff like that. Yeah, some of the stuff I do use and do, it's a little redneck, but that is all okay. Like I use, I gotta switch these ones around here a bit, these gloves, because I use construction cotton gloves when I do my mason jars. Yeah, I double pair them up, these cotton gloves, so when I go to touch the mason jars, I'm not touching directly, and at least I can handle it a bit better. Now I know the mason jars are done. Which are sitting down here. Get some potatoes too, into there. And now I'm doing everything in 1 liter jars. So it'll take about 90 minutes in the pressure canner. And gotta get that on. Now the bacon doesn't have to be fully 100% cooked at this particular point. The potatoes don't have to be 100% fully cooked. And I'm using the frozen potato. Like I bought potatoes and cut them up, and then I froze them. So as long as they're unfrozen, and which they are by now, and everything will be good. The bacon has started to cook. The green onions and the chives have absorbed the water. And that's probably a little too much in there. Always dump some of that back out. And I fill it up so that it's about 3/4 full of what I'm putting into there. And then I fill the rest up with liquid and whatever might go into the soup thing here. And then there's like a certain lip that I fill it to, and it's the 1-inch mark. That stuff's down. I'll show you that lip. It's right there. That lip is where I generally fill it to. Then I add my 2/4 teaspoons of salt because it is 1 liter. And then I debubble it. I stick it that thing I was using in the soup thing, and that thing to put all this stuff in. And then I wipe the top of it down with my rag and a vinegar. And I grab this lid here. Now, when I go to tighten them, right, I do it so that I know that it's not tight. I can do it, but it's tight enough where it's hand tight, right? Because when I do it, because sometimes what'll happen, they're reused lids, so I want that little extra tightened on it. When they're brand new lids, you want them really to be finger tight, and that there is a slight difference to it, because when they're used, and but I'm a bit of a rebel canner per se. And if I can cut corners somewhere, I most certainly do. Like I've been pressure canning for a couple of years now, and my father owned a meat factory, and he had me working from the kill floors right up to processing plants, where you do a bit of canning, making dog food, cutting up meat, stuff like that. So when they're doing it, they got the whole government inspection on up their behinds, which is normal, because when it comes to that, they can be sued for a lot of money for it. If someone got sick from something. My dad's plant, he had a small family owned and oriented, and then it grew when the mad cow disease hit some years back. he went straight to chicken, and then he grew to a plant that had about 500 employees, and his best year was $90 million. And he sold it to Maple Lodge when he retired because it got that big. Um, so I learned a number of things there. But I picked up a few other things along the way as well too. Yeah, I generally don't add cornstarch or rice or pasta to anything when I'm doing this. Even when I'm making chicken noodle soup or chicken and rice soup, I'll fill up the mason jars here less. Um, um, so that when I go to reheat it after take it out off my shelves, I can put some pasta in there or rice in there, and let that stuff absorb the water. Um, yeah, this is starting to smell really good now. Might have to save some of it for dinner tonight. There we go. Yeah, that's why I won't put rice and pasta into it when I'm doing it. When I do it up to the pressure canner, I always with the pasta and the rice, I do it after because it just it's not the same. when you put it in there before. Plus, with rice and pasta, it's just I won't put it into the mason jars when I'm doing this because I'm a bit fearful of what may happen when I go to open it up. I might get sick, botulism, and I live by myself with the dog, right? So I don't want to be taking that chance. The neighbors, the one neighbor on one side of me know me half decently, where if I'm not outside or the dog isn't outside, for at least a day, they know where the key is, my spare key, and they'll check up on me. But still, even at that, right? Plus going to the hospital, it's gonna be about a half an hour to get me there from where I am. So, and by the time they get here, you're looking at about 45 minutes to an hour. So I try to be a little on the careful side of whatever I do. Plus, I don't like going to the hospitals. The smell of hospitals it's too clean for me. Not that I'm a dirty person or anything like that, but it's got too much of a clean smell for my liking. Every jar that you see me dealing with out of the screen, I'm always putting 2/4 teaspoons of salt in, and I'm debubbling it. And basically, it's just all I'm doing is just sticking this in and mixing it up a little bit, get the bubbles out of there, and then wiping the top of the where the rubber sits with a rag and vinegar on it. And because the pot with these things there, I put a little vinegar in there. You know, like the stove's been on, the mason jars have been in the oven the whole time from the moment I turned it on and up until now. So you got good mason jars when they don't crack. Looks like I'm only gonna have 5 liters worth, which is pretty good, and then dinner. So yeah, 'cause when it's getting this hard to fish stuff out. Yeah. And the green onions and the chives look pretty darn good, like for coming back to uh, with the absorption of water. There we go. Turn the oven off now and get this one here all the way on high. Turn that one off. Right. Oh, don't worry about that. That is not necessarily a false seal. That was the first jar that went in there. So it just thinks it seals. All right. With the oil going on the gasket here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Now I got a thing that's supposed to pop up here, and then I got a rubber gasket over here. That will shoot out water when it goes above pressure. that was probably that lid that tried to seal but didn't work. Popping back up again, which is fine. I usually put more mason jars in the oven than I actually need. I had about 10 in there. Yeah, 10 was in there. You just take them out, and then before I put the lids back on them, I let them cool right down so that I'm not wrecking the rubber. But because these will still have to go back when I go to use them, the pressure can again. They still will have to be done like that again. Yeah. And sometimes do that to help encourage that to come up. All right. Okay, it's up now. Yeah. Well, I don't wait the 10 minutes for it. Once I can feel it pretty good there, I put the rocker on. There's lines on mine here. And for anybody that's got the Presto canner there, there's lines and they're right by one of the handles. I usually have the water just above that first line in there, and maybe a 1/4 inch higher than that line, because this has got to be in there for 90 minutes once this starts rocking. this anymore. You guys gonna hear my vacuum sealer go off. So I'm gonna vacuum seal the green onions up. Yeah, been doing the gardening thing too there, GTP. I don't know how many square feet I've got, but I live on a quarter acre, and I'd say about a third to half of it is gardens. And then I got 2, 4 big planter boxes, and then one of them's got garlic in there. One of them's got 2 blueberry bushes. 2 of them got 1 grapevine in there. But these babies, grapevines. And then I got another 4 planter boxes with raspberry bushes. And they got like little archways for the vines to grow up in that. Yeah, this whole time is this pressure canner has been on high because it's still building up pressure. Yeah, I planted mine, I think, in November. So there's still a good amount of snow on the ground up here. But I won't find out until spring when everything comes back. And I'm only going to assume that it's going to come back when the strawberries come back and stuff like that. And all that other stuff starts coming up. Now, because these are 1 liter jars, they got to sit in there for 90 minutes. Um, and this little tab thing right here, after 90 minutes, I take it off. Neither do I. I've always been told because it needs that cold shock or what have you. It needs to start growing and then to have that cold shock. And then you can pull it out in June or July. So this is my first year growing garlic. So, and it's the store-bought garlic too. I just put the bottoms into the root in like in a plastic container until they start growing some roots, and then I put them in the ground in November, and then they start sprouting, and then the winter came, so I won't be able to know until everything starts coming back. Okay, now it's starting to rock. So there we go. You guys can hear it and just barely see it, I think. Yeah, and then that's when I turn it down to medium. And that's when the 90 minutes start. And it's 8:15 now. So it's 9:15, 9:45 that'll be coming off. And I always write down the time. And then I write this stuff down on a card there, what it is, the date that I did it, and the year I did it, so that when I go to put this away, I know that it's good. Until now, I got soups in there in my pantry room from like last May that are still good. Now after 90 minutes that it's been on the heat for going like this, I'll take it off the heat until this little tab thing goes down. Then I know it's good for no pressure. Then I take the rocker thing off and then unlock the lid and take it off. But I take it off away so that the part, I'll turn it back. Ouch, that's hot. But I'll have the handle so that they're here, and I'll take it off so it's away from me. And then I'll take the jars out with this thing, and then I'll take them and put them on the counter until I hear them pop, and let them sit on the counter for about 24 hours. And then I'll take them into my pantry room, and I will unscrew the lids just ever so slightly, because that's how I tell when the seals go on me. So when the seals go, because when I go to pull them off the shelf, if the seals have gone on me, I don't eat it. I just throw it away. So there you have it. So I'm going to end the stream here. I'll see you all later. And have a good night.